Well, I'm here with Matias Zagazeta, and we are delighted to welcome you in M2 competition once again to New Zealand. And but your first time. What's your expectations of racing here in New Zealand?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's fantastic to be here. Very nice country, very nice people. The team is fantastic, so it's nice already to be working with the team. It's a really cool experience. I've heard from previous drivers. I've been talking to a couple of them, especially my friends Roman Bilinski and Charlie Wirtz, so the past two champions. So they gave me more or less a bit of an idea of what to expect here. I think that we're going to build up to it. So we have testing first of all tomorrow, so we're going to take it step by step. Of course, we know what our main goal is. It's to fight for the title, so that's what we are here for. But yeah, it's going to be a very intense 5 weeks. And yeah, the main goal is to also get ready and prepare for the main season in the year.
Well, obviously the Toyota series, as you mentioned, Charlie, and obviously some previous champions. Roman did a great job. But just like those guys, they weren't that well known when they got here, but they left these shores well known. Tell us a little bit about your racing history, where you're from, and how you got into racing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I got into racing since a very young age. I just liked race cars and racing in general since I was maybe 1 or 2 years old, so I can't even remember this. But I was always playing with race cars, watching racing in TV, so I really liked it. And when I got the opportunity to jump in a go-kart when I was 6 or 7 years old in a rental kart, I loved it, and I would go every time. And then I finally did my first professional race in karting when I was 8. So that's how everything got started. So then I started racing internationally, went to Argentina, then America, and then made the jump to Europe in 2017. So yeah, was in karting then, and then went to racing single seaters in Formula 4, Formula Regional, and then now Formula 3.
And how did you go in Formula 4 and Formula Regional?
Formula 4 was good in the UK. I raced the British F4 Championship, managed to come second in the championship, really close to winning the championship. So this was a bit of a difficult moment, but also very good year overall. And then 2 years in Formula Regional, I did some races in the Middle East and also the European Championship, which was very interesting, very competitive, a lot of cars, a lot of drivers, good teams. So it was really a big learning curve in my career because I had only raced in the UK tracks, so I had to adapt to the European style. It was very different, but then we got there in the end.
How hard is it coming from your country to be noticed, to get sponsors? There's not been that many racing drivers. Obviously you play from South America, but what about your background and getting into racing and being noted?
Yeah, well, it's really difficult, I think, for anyone. I think it's just difficult to get sponsors overall. I think now, towards the point that I'm getting to in my career, it's starting to help me a bit more because I'm the only Peruvian that's sort of doing this at this level right now. There's a couple guys coming that are younger in karting or in F4 as well, but right now I'm the only Peruvian, so it helps really to find sponsors. But before, it's been really difficult. It was just trying to convince people why it's a good idea to sponsor on this sport, but eventually when they understand, it's fantastic. So yeah, that's something we've worked on a lot, on many years, but at the beginning was really hard. Of course, coming from South America is very far away. Not everyone has the opportunity to go and race in Europe or to live in Europe like I did, but it was also a big sacrifice to leave all my family, my friends, everything back at home and go to live alone in another continent. So it's sacrifices we have to make that maybe some European drivers don't, but it's all part of the experience.
And what's the big plan, Matias? What do you hope out of this jaunt into motor racing?
Well, I think it's going to be a very exciting year for me. Racing here in New Zealand first is going to be a fantastic experience. Going back to this car that I already know quite well is also quite a good advantage. So I'm going to use that with my favor and hopefully have a good journey here. And then in the European season in Formula 3, I think hopefully also have a really strong year. Maybe get a couple of podiums and win, and a strong position in the championship to potentially move out to Formula 2.
And obviously, I presume, Formula 1, if that's the goal, right?
Exactly, that's the main dream for everyone. I think everyone here dreams of getting to Formula 1, so that's what we're working towards. And also other opportunities like in America, racing in IndyCar, or potentially Formula E, or racing in Le Mans. Races like this are things that I would love to do, and racing professionally would be fantastic.
Well, you've certainly got an inspiration, or at least a benchmark. Colapinto has made a name for himself very quickly. He raced here, and I think it was 4th place overall, or 3rd place overall, and beat Yuki Tsunoda. So you've got a benchmark because his popularity is huge.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think what a nice thing from South American fans, or South Americans in general, is the passion that we have. So when we find a sport or a person that we feel attached to, we really support them. So you can see it with the people from Argentina to Franco, or in Peru with myself, it's starting to grow a lot. So it's so nice to see the support like this in our countries.
Well, listen, best of luck in the 5 weeks, and we'll be watching, and I'm sure hopefully the people in Peru will start taking notice of what you're doing.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thank you.